Ah! Happy Thursday. Took me an extra an extra hour to get my internet back up because I don't know what Cox was doing around here. Everybody was out in the neighborhood. I mean, the whole block was out. They were doing scheduled maintenance. Listen, assholes. Skating means it's gonna happen, which means you can give me a heads up and just not assume that everybody is going to sleep at 9 o'clock like they did in the Ozzie and Harriet days. How about you send me an email warning me that, hey, we have some scheduled maintenance that might fuck up your night, especially if you work predominantly in the internet in the evenings. Just a heads up. But no. You know how I find out? When the shit's not working, and I got to call them up, and I hear the little robot man, we're enduring scheduled maintenance in your area. This might already has caused a service interruption in your area. We apologize, and fuck you. Goddamn internet back on. Oh, boy.
Hello, so having some issues tonight, I hear.
Dude, and like I said, this is not like I'm playing Pac Bell internet or up to string to other cup internet. Cox is fucking expensive, man. Sometimes it's food or Cox, and the internet is important to me on both levels, office and here. So sometimes I starve a little bit. So I'm paying a lot for Cox. I expect you just shit to be working all the time. All the time. I mean, I should never can't have that. Scheduled maintenance, do it some other time. I'm in Vegas, 24-hour city, even though I can't get any food 24 hours. I'm working on my computer. I need to know ahead of time, and they're going to tear up your streets and turn off the water. What do? They notify you. The hell? Well, Cox is just miserable. But hey, welcome to a banned topic, Midnight Express. Now we all fully fucking know that you guys are going to immediately, along with your leader, Brad, violate that rule, but I just thought it would be fun to put it in the topics.
Well, now that we're on the topic, I mean, of Snyderverse going to Netflix, and also we can throw some Good Burger in there, and maybe a little bit of about James Gunn's DCU slate, and maybe we can also talk. Okay.
First of all, and I haven't even looked at the comment section, guys. Yeah. I haven't even looked at the chat. I don't care about the short list of Supergirl. I don't.
Yeah, care. Yeah. Well,
let me repeat. I don't care about the short list casting of Supergirl more than 2 to possibly 3 minimum away. I don't care. Am I down on it? No. But it's like me saying, how are you going to feel on your 55th birthday, William? Well, that's a long fucking time away. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get
short. And I'm going to go on a limb and guess that is why you put the No Man Topics the title also.
I warned you I was going to be doing that anyway because what ends up happening. I end up being an asshole because I don't care about. Like I said, I see all these streams like rumors about DC, rumors about Supergirl. I'm like, unless you're moving the date up 3 years, that's the only rumor I give a fuck about. I already know about Tom. They're using Tom King. That's cool. That's cool. I don't care who's playing her right now. I don't care. I don't even think there's, other than them using the script for, Woman of Tomorrow, there's no script. He generally doesn't cast anybody until he has one. And it might be some chick or someone, I don't know. I still don't know who David Cornsweet is. So,
well, and I think it's also important to bear in mind that, again, he has been very emphatic about, I'm the, just wait until I comment on something before you pay too much heed to any of the rumor mill or the spec of the stories or anything like that. And he's even at one point directly debunked one of the casting exclusives. I think it was that Palm, who her last name Clementoff. Yeah. I think it's I was mess up her last name. She was going to be in Superman Legacy, and he within the hour came on social media and said, no, that is not true. And I needed. Yeah, he said he wanted to do that because he didn't want her to get bombarded with questions about that on the press tour, and then.
You know what you could do to prevent that? You could be talking to me and not in code, This is what we're going to do over the next 3 years. We're going to have everybody from OJ all the way up to
OJ.
damn movie. I mean, Biggie's going to be in Batman. I mean, that's what we do when we have too much time to talk about this shit. It is 2 years away, 19 months away from the first movie. I'm not counting Creature Comfort Commando. I don't. And so the stuff I want to start seeing is years away. So who he has, I don't care. I don't care right now. I will eventually, as we get closer, just like I care about turning 60 as I get closer to that. Am I going to give a fuck about it 10 years from now, 11 years from now? No. I'm like, come on. We got all kinds of... I'm challenging you guys, just like I challenged you the other night. This is open topic. You can come up with other topics besides this shit. I will go where you guys lead me. Or where Brad, runs us off the road and over the fence. I will go with it. I'm just giving you an outlet and an opportunity to talk about something that's actually relevant, nearly relevant, not some shit that's going to go down in 2 or 3 years from now. I don't fucking care right now, and that's I'm glad it's going well. I'm happy for whoever gets casted. Good luck, James Gunn. Good luck, everybody involved. 2025, 2026, 2027. That's the problem I have with Marvel right now. By the time I get the shit I want to see, dude, we're going to be we might have flying cars by the time we get some of the stuff that I've been waiting for.
And that's the shit you want to see that you don't have to actively ask the studio for, too.
Yeah, I want my dude, I should have Fantastic Four now. Why did you not have a game plan with Spider-Man No Way Home going with that? The X-Men thing is going to be a long road depending on how you do it. We should have started that shit now. We should have been down this road. You're giving me...
I think the thing about this too is this technically isn't even like casting news; it's screen test news. So I mean, worst case scenario, they might decide we don't like any of them, and we're gonna look at other people. So yeah, I'm not saying that will happen.
Unnamed sources, and a source close to whatever the fuck. I'm like, oh, this again. It's like just. I mean, as we get closer, then I guess that right now we're just too far away. And then the other stuff we want to talk about, it's going nowhere right now. It's going nowhere. So I am challenging you, everybody in our chat tonight. And in the next couple of nights, you have the opportunity to take this stream to other places. But if you want to keep going back to shit that's going to be going down in the the next presidential administration, go ahead.
Yeah, but of course, as we all know, it's all my fault.
Nah, there's other corporates too. You can see it in chat already. You can already see they saw the title and immediately said, "Fuck William."
Let me go ahead.
Yeah. Ban topics.
Well, let me go ahead and start with saying hello to people in the chat and avoiding ban topics. Now we are officially, that is the last of the ban topics tonight. And I will even abide that myself without jokes about selling things or restoring things or Gerd Burger or anything of that nature. That's it.
At least it's positive discussions. It's 3 years away. It doesn't matter if it's positive or not. 3 years away, dude. Where will we be in 3 years? I'm trying to make it to fucking Friday, and you guys are doing backflips over some shit that's going to go down in 3 years?
Yeah,
okay.
But thank you very much, Aaron. Says hi, William, and everybody in the chat. She has a follow-up. Just so you know, Brad, if the streamers are, I'm going to watch The Raid for the first time. So, and Aaron, actually earlier, she shared on Twitter that the Raid is actually getting a 4K release for the first time. So it was definitely yeah, Aaron, you might have missed the watch party, but I'm very glad that my work in spreading the gospel of the Raid movies is going as planned here.
I'm questioning your loyalty. Why weren't you there? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But yes, I'm bringing more people aboard. It's all going according to plan. How's it going, Ruth?
Oh, by the way, it was a joke. Go ahead and hit up the ban topics. I was just giving the chat opportunity to. This is whatever you guys want tonight. Now, when we have topics and stuff like that, then we can't be derailing it.
Well, first I'm going to go ahead and get some of just the intros.
Since you showed up on time tonight.
Yeah.
That's
this
not
is
bad. No,
well, this is a man topic. I have not started Echo yet. I'm planning to over the weekend.
I'm planning to after the stream.
Oh, and by the way, it's because I went to go get the first issue of the Rebel Moon prequel comic today. Apparently, my store hadn't ordered it, so I had put in like I had to pre-order the second one, but I had to put in like an order for the first issue, and they said, I mean, we might actually get once we're past the release date, they might actually get it. So I might have to like do some like, okay, let's go on eBay and see if it's anyone selling.
I got shorted. Guess how many I got shorted? Guess, because that's what kind of day I'm having. All of them. So I did the reorder, and I should be able to get the reorder. My order. I paid for them. I got all the covers. So they will not be here for Saturday because it's just not going to go ship out. However, you can buy the digital comic, and that's what we will have. We will review the digital comic. So we already know what our comic book Turning Point story is. So there you go, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I might like try to get from like directly from like Titan, .com.
I love Titan. They do Blade Runner, so I got a big order, and it allowed me to add more to my Blade Runner order. So I'm good.
Yeah, I've gotten more into like a lot of the.
Are you reading Blade Runner?
I've never read Blade Runner, no, but my big one is like far as like indie publishers. Really, it's been Berserker. It's been Keanu's book. That's like that's with who's that with? That's with Boom Studios.
Read. I'll go first. Everybody in the chat. Go watch Blade Runner Black Lotus. Blade Runner Black Lotus, and then get into the Titan comics. They're excellent. They're beautifully done. The cover. You've seen I toured the covers. You guys know how I feel about Blade Runner. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the murkiness that I know you guys have waiting for me after Brad introduces everybody.
Well, actually, also there's a little bit of a talk about because I have not started Echo yet. I plan to over the weekend. Where was it?
I'm gonna watch enough of it to review on Saturday.
RJ says he hasn't watched yet, but he has very little interest. Looks mediocre and burn out in the MCU. And Bradley follows that up with, "I don't miss much RJ. Very paid by the numbers. MCU has the most dog shit ending."
Wow. Man, dude, 2 years ago,
he liked it.
The MCU should have shit, and everybody would have been like, "Wow, MCU laid a turd." That's all wasted. Now it's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, 5 years ago, it's like, you could have had just Kevin Feige just come on camera and just have diarrhea. That'd be.
I had people debating with straight faces that any of the Thors were good movies. Like doing the whole Chappie defending Cloverfield type of argument, but Chappie had more of a chance of defending Cloverfield that night than anyone ever has of defending Thor movies. But they would be fighting Thor's cinema. I'm like, that's cinema? That's cinema? You need to lower the dose in the prescription, son, because that's dog shit. But hey, next one.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I think that's. Clint says I think William is fighting a kangaroo tonight.
That's kind of deadly. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it can disembowel you with one of their kicks, man.
Dennis Mess says, "Election year, hopes for the best, but I'm scared." Yeah, it's gonna suck. That's all I'll say. I mean, when was the last time an election in this country didn't suck?
Before 2016.
No, like really. I mean, I like going back at least as far as 2000. I mean, that
was the Chad election.
They just keep getting worse and worse every year because then you have the Iraq War election, then you have the Obama versus McCain election with Sarah Palin in the mix, and then it's Obama's election.
Saturday Night Live though. Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's true.
Great when these things,
Yeah, that's true.
Live, I think actually is part of the conspiracy to make these elections goofy so that they can get back and have great cold openings. Or in the update, that's it. Because Lauren Michael, election year, I'm down.
Yeah, but then 2016, we all that all that stuff happened. And then 2020 is the COVID election, and now we get to this one, and it's like they just keep getting uglier and uglier. It's like I just want.
You know what though? I will take ours on our worst day. I have been places that we don't even get that shot. I have been to places to where your elections are rigged. I've been in places in the Middle East where there is no elections. There's just emirs and kings. I've been in places where there's, where we're allied with military dictatorships and shit. We're allied with people who do some awful things and they don't get a vote. I would, the fact that we get to complain about an open democracy, I know it sucks sometimes, but trust me, just like Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for the other ones, all the other ones. And that's what we got. What we have is an experiment. It's a fragile experiment, but it's lasted over 2 centuries. And like I said, you got governments in the Congo. Go Google what's going on in the Congo. Go Google what's going on in Sudan. There are some places right now I wouldn't even want to be just sitting right now on the internet because you don't know what the hell is going to happen. So, yeah, we got some goofy shit going on, but it'll pass. It'll pass.
Yeah, and like you said, all leaks makes it tolerable. I also really wish, I mean, like Jon Stewart, when he was, because I watched The Daily Show religiously when he was hosting, and he could make the darkest subject matter hilarious.
Well,
so,
John Oliver made some of these things and it just made them so like I could tolerate them and stomach them.
Yeah.
Last week tonight, I mean, I love that show. When it goes off the air and I gotta wait for it to come back. I mean, he's hilarious and he doesn't care. When HBO was owned by AT&T, he would fuck with them.
Yeah.
He screwed with Zazoff. The day after the sale happened, the very next show that he did, he opened up on them. I'm like, he does not care. So
apparently, by the way, speaking of Zaslav, apparently, like there was some news that he's like selling a whole bunch of like WB stock at like $10 million of Warner Brothers stock or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, he just added a couple more people to his little producer pool though. So I saw that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means anything like one way or another as far as
It could mean a lot. It could mean nothing. Like I said, I personally don't expect him to be the guy at the end of this tunnel. I just don't think he's the guy. I don't think he wants to be the guy. I think he's going to get it to a certain point, and then I think he's going to hand it off. But the person who writes Warner Brothers ship for good is going to be a tech guy. Or gal is going to be somebody who is from the generation that we're in. It's going to be a Generation X or below. It's not going to be a baby boomer. It's going to be a Generation X like myself or below. Are because they have to have an understanding of what is going on. And right now, I think cinema and I think the studios and I think everybody is being hurt by everybody trying to force the old dinosaur way down people's throat instead of just going where the market tells you. Go where the customer tells you that they can go. What the customer can afford. You know what? Things may change and finances may change. People's wages may go up. Things may get better for families as far as what they can afford to do for entertainment. But right now, you have to go where the customer is telling you to go. And if they can't afford all these movies and they can afford streaming, then that's where you have to balance it out. But you can't be, trying to use torches instead of electricity. You can't be trying to, justify black and white TV when everybody else on the block's got color. And that's what I think is happening now. They're trying to resist the future, and that never works. Show me where that has ever worked. The future comes whether you're ready or not. And we got to get these dinosaurs out of here and get somebody with fresh blood and fresh understanding in there that understands that what's got to happen. And Zazoff or no one like him. In fact, none of these guys, to be honest with you, none of these current studio heads are going to be the people that usher in what is needed for the customer. It'll be their predecessors or their successors. I'm sorry. All right, let's hit the check.
I will just find it so hilarious if Zaslav leaves and Kylar comes back.
I would, dude. If I had enough shares to make my vote count, I would vote for Kylar because be honest with you, in hindsight, where he was going was the right way. You just got to be able. And like I said, the dinosaurs cannot recognize that, and that's why who needs to go and who needs to retire and ride off in the sunset. When they're standing up in front of crowds of people saying, "We love you, cinema. We're gonna keep the theaters open," and like I said, I'm not a knock against theater. I know people who work in theater. I know I understand that. But what everybody has to understand is no matter how much I love those guys that work there. I mean, in my favorite theater down here, down the street from the center, Galaxies. They know me. They treat me well. They treat our people well when we host events there. I don't want any of those people to lose money. But at the same time, we're not the ones dictating that. The financial, the economic schematic is determining that. Like I said, things will get better for people. We won't always be dealing with it at the tail end of inflation. We won't. But at the same time, you have to understand if we're going to make these movies that you're going to have to balance out. You're going to have short windows. You're going to have. I told you we're headed towards a 30-day window for some of these movies eventually.
Yeah,
these movies, and like I said, we don't want to invest money. And when he said, well, we didn't see a return on our investment in streaming. I'm like, dude, you're like literally using dinosaur logic to launch a space shuttle. It just can't happen. And I'm like, and I know most of these guys who are saying this shit, they know better. But they know that I think every one of these old men in their 60s and 70s and 80s know that they're not the future. So what do they care, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so go back in the chat, and I'm gonna get a few more intros, and then we'll maybe a lot of
Hi,
topics.
Hi, Bradley. Bradley.
Bradley says, I think his ass will be gone in 3 years or less. Yeah, I think so too.
I think way sooner than that.
I think so too.
I think he's gonna be like, I'm getting the hell out. How you doing, Fourth 1000?
Fourthness, Aztec.
Azteca, what's going on, man? Oh, okay. Brad clicked the wrong button on his computer and he kicked himself off the stream. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Brad did that to Brad.
Myself.
When we say you hashtag that, this time it's right.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm not the only one having a bad day.
Now, okay, good. Azteca, how's it going? See,
hey,
Brad,
I got a whole bunch of pops today.
Bradley says 30 days to VOD would be horrible. It's
coming, dude. It's coming.
Might as well not even release it in theaters.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true on either end, because the majority of the money that a movie theater or a movie makes for most movies. Now, we're not talking about the ginormous movies, but most average movies, they make 82% of their money comes within the first 2.5 weeks. If you look at it, for the most part, now there are films that have carryover, like the Barbies and Oppenheimers and certain things, but the majority of the movie, they make the bulk of their money. They're front loaded. The first 2 weeks are where they make the majority of the money. So if you're the theater and you're giving up 30-something%, you're giving up a lot of these things that are tied to the theaters, you're inclined to get that movie back to your territory as much as possible, because you're cutting. Like I said, remember that table I'm telling you about, where the Batman table and Michael Keaton Batman, where Vicky Bale's at the bar end of the table. That's their money.
Can you pass the salt?
Yeah, their money is way down there, and by the time it gets down to them, a whole bunch of people have had their hands in it, and then, like I said, it's diminishing returns. So it sucks. It sucks to say that, but 30 days, like I said, that might justify certain movies getting made if they're like, okay, it's not doing well these first 2 weeks, but we don't need it to do this if we know we're going to get it on VOD and then we're going to get into streaming. Like I said, the money doesn't stop getting counted until the money stops being made. So just because it's not in the theater doesn't mean that the fat cats aren't drawing cash on it, especially that secondary window of VOD. Some of these movies do really well on VOD. Especially the family movies, like those family movies that they had to skip because you couldn't afford to take everybody to the movie. Now you got VODs, $20, $20 or $29. Now that's $30 for a movie. But when you think of everything you put into the movie, like the average $125 with the food and everything else, you're spending way more than $29. That's actually a good value for the customer, and that's where people got to think. That's where you have to start, where the customer is, and not necessarily where we want things to be all the time.
Yeah. I was trying to click on the comment, and I kept trying to hit the plus sign, but it just wasn't coming for some reason. Then I click it like really hard, and somehow I just sent myself out. So I don't know how that happened, but of course, blame me. Yeah, blame me again. It's all my fault.
I'm surprised you're not blaming me. You finally kicked me out. I didn't do it.
Azteca says, with inflation currently, more and more people are opting out of streaming services. Well, like most of the ones I'm subscribed to, I usually try to do it in like the annual subscription, because I just like that idea better. Like, I just give them everything up front for 1 year, and then because like, okay, now leave me alone for a year and until you need the subscription fee again, because
the money. Yeah.
If
you get and you save a lot.
Exactly. So what else we got?
There we go.
Bradley says they normally cap out in the first 2 weeks, but that still would be awful.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, for the viability, the studio, I know we knock the studios around because some are, but at the same time, they're the ones making the movie, so they have to do well too. You know what I mean? They have to. We want the theaters to do well. We want everybody to be able to afford everything. But the theaters and the production companies and the studios are part of the equation. So it has to be, equitable for them in order to continue and sustain these things, or otherwise we don't have movies. We're waiting around for independence, and not every independent is a universally appealed movie. You know, for everywhere, everything all at once, you have a movie that people are like, "What's that?" No, never mind. So everybody's got to have some type of seat at the table. Yeah. It sucks, but it's where we're at in technology. Once again, when I tell you about the customer, like everybody says, well, the bookstores are closing up and physical media is dead, and the corporations are doing this. No, the customer did that. The customer killed physical media. The customer elevated streaming. The customer cut their theater chips in half. The studios and the corporations just were like dogs to a steak. They just smelted and went wherever it was going. You have to. So if vinyl, when vinyl went dead, nobody wanted vinyl. Nobody was buying vinyl. Vinyl was just good, and then all of a sudden you had a renaissance in vinyl, and then we started having record stores popping up, and and other things, and we'll have bookstores. Eventually, people will get sick of Amazon and online reading about that, and they'll like I always say, they'll want these gathering places back, especially after COVID, and we're still coming out of COVID. When that was taken from us, it's going to take time, but it's going to be the customer. If the customer comes back and just stops watching streaming and just says, "I'm just going to see these movies," then the market's going to have to go where they go. But right now, the customer is who's dictating that streaming is going to be prominent. The customer is the one that's streaming that Amazon is king, and you can have a fucking drone drop your book on your front porch. So, next.
Yeah, so Dennis the Menace says, imagine 2025 would be like The Purge, more violent. Yeah, okay. That's pessimistic.
I doubt it. Like I said, people like just like the Civil War thing. It's going to come down to the populace not going for it. That's why it's cool in a movie. But the general populace is, like I said, we don't like our shit disrupted. We want to be able to go all the places we want to go. We want to be able to go outside when we want to go outside. We want to be able to go to movies. We want to go to dinner. We want to go shopping. We want to go live our life, go work, do all the stuff that we always doing. Anybody who disrupts that is going to be on the bad end of it. It's going to be on the bad end of it. It sounds cool on TV when you can get up out of a theater and leave, or turn it off. But when it's real life, I can't go to Starbucks because you got an insurrection. Fuck you. I can't go see Beekeeper because you and your henchmen, decide you want to overflow government. That ain't gonna last. It's the general public is not gonna go for it. It's cool though. Like I said, I'm gonna go see Civil War. The Purge. I'm tired of those movies. But when the first one was cool, but all the time that I was watching The Purge, I knew it was bullshit. Just like when I'm watching Godzilla, I know that's currently bullshit. There is currently not a atomic breathing lizard that can flatten the city with one breath. Fiction is fiction, but like I said, I don't think it would ever happen. But next one.
No.
$300. What are you guys talking about? Somebody's talking about wrestling.
Oh yeah. If that's movies, then theaters are all over. Hal Jordan asks, any chance that Tom Cruise joins DC now because he has a contract? The thing about Tom Cruise is that it's like he's not going to join unless he can have like 5 like different stunts where he's like going to come like a hair away from death. So yeah.
No, I think he's going to do his own thing, and that's that contract for original. I have some coming in, and I am already probably going to sell out. I will let you know. I will put them online if I have them, but I think I'm going to sell out. But who's paying $300? For a ticket? Oh yes, it's 38 degrees right now. Actually, it's 30 degrees. I'm going to
Bradley, you guys in Vegas?
Yeah, he's in Vegas. Yeah, he's in Vegas. Okay. He was with me at the Rebel Moon screening.
Oh yeah. So
we are going to not only will we reviewing Rebel Moon when the digital copy, we're going to be reviewing the Ultimate stuff that came out as well. So it's going to be a later show, guys, because I'm going to TNA Hard to Kill. But it's going to be a heavy comics laden type of show on 2 different levels.
On that note, from Aaron, we be selling the Rebel merch.
Yes. I just ordered I put in an order for the Funko Pops. I should be getting those next Tuesday. Obviously, I'm going to be carrying the comics. They will be late, but I will get them. And there's posters and stuff from allposters.com. We're going to get those framed up and sell those as well. So yeah, we'll be selling what we can, and then I'll get the stuff that was at Walmart Second Market because there's already people selling it for a discount. That's what, not because it's not doing well, because those guys, they're buyers. That's what they do. They buy up a whole bunch of shit and then they package it for a huge discount, and they add on other stuff to it. So when I say, oh, I want that, it's because they've attached it to another bigger sell. That's how they get you in, which is fine because I end up thinking like 30%. So
Bradley says, by the time Legacy, I think he's talking about Zaslav here. Legacy comes out before he'll be gone. Yes, I think so too.
That's a very good possibility. And which, to me, like I said, I don't want to even entertain what happens if some other guy comes in and says those numbers aren't high enough for me. And if James Gunn's is not under an extended contract or something that's hard, that's keeps the other people at bay. If he's just going to run out the current contract he's on, then there's no guarantee. Like I said, I always want to know what people's contract status are. It's like my sports team. If you're under, depending on what your contract, you might not be there for that championship parade. You might get traded. All you are is a tradable asset. But if you're not under contract at all, I know you're getting traded because they're not going to let you walk for anything. So when it comes to these executives like that, if they're not under a long-term contract, then or to the point where you have to pay them so much if you sever that contract that it's not worth it, then I like I said, I am in the cheap seats watching all this go down.
Yeah, well, and of course, I mean, there's been speculation that with the whole Tom Cruise thing, that might be like kind of like the early signal of like the Paramount WB merger. So yeah, we'll see.
Fourth, real quick. I agree with you, dude. You're talking to the choir, but I can't speak for other people, who have a family and extended responsibilities and still want to be entertained. I want everything to be in person. But we have to understand the financial reality of things. It just going,
Droga.
How you doing, Ozzy?
Yeah, Daniel Martin's got to go to Zinger here. Or band topics. Snyderverse, sorry.
It was a joke, dude. It was a joke because every time I ban something, we end up talking about it anyway. You guys just need to know how I feel about it. This is like I said, I'm the guy who's going to probably end up short-circuiting any of the topics you guys bring up because it's 3 years from now.
Well, and like I keep saying with this ban topic, the problem is that is that the studio and the internet and seemingly life itself keep trying to want to ban it, and it just won't stay banned, as I think it's very clear at this point. So it'll find some way to kind of
see when it does. So it does.
Energy.
It's not doing it productively. That's what I mean. If we could have productive conversations about it, I'm all for it. I'll talk about anything, but they're not productive conversations. There's people who, in my opinion, and guys, and I see you guys on Twitter because I don't know how to filter everything. But by the way, when you guys have an issue with a Snyder bro or cultist or whatever, please specify that. You're not helping when you say you Snyder fans and this. I know I don't fit in that category, but would you understand when you share mutual people, if it's people who haven't done any of that shit, you get this blanket and all the responses are, yeah, they don't do this, they that. Instead of if you can't say certain ones or if you can't be more specific, all you're doing is you're just making things worse. You are not adding anything productive to the world by blanketing anybody.
I had one guy. I had one guy. He kind of my nemesis. He said I was the biggest bitch in the Snyder cult. So
he's never called. I could be the biggest bitch in this time. He's never met. He doesn't know what we're doing.
And this fucking idiot. It's like, and I won't name names, but it's like anybody who's like mentioned the man's name on Twitter at one point, this asshole just pops into your comments constantly just to stir a ruckus. And I've gotten in a back and forth with him, pointing that out to him. It's like, yeah, dude, you do that because you got no fucking life, and like this is how you occupy yourself because you're all holier now. You're trying to be high and mighty about this, and you've got literally nothing else going on in your life. And I pointed that out too many times, and he tries to stand his ground of that.
You are the fire. Every time. You are the fire. You are the wood in which his fire burns. Just don't give them anything to burn. These people live for this shit, dude. They live for the conflict. They live to get guys like you and get guys who are passionate about it, who are well-meaning people, just to respond to their garbage. Hey, that's fine. But once again, I just think it's hilarious that if you can't openly say, and I'm not talking about, you know what I mean. No, if you can't say a certain segment or specific, and you need to stick to that, then you're just adding to the problem. You are as much of the problem as anything. So I just say, hey,
yeah, fourth. Yeah, it was fourth. It was all fourth. We know it was all fourth. He was doing that. It's like he pointed out. It's like he's confessing. No, there are a few people in the comments who know who I'm talking about though, and it's like we all know how I feel about that guy. And William said we are not here to do beeps with specific people. I'm not going to indulge in that. But there's
nothing to be gained by it. There's nothing. What did you get out of
that? I got called a bitch.
There you go. You got nothing out of it with these people. They got an excitement. They got their little badge on their collar for getting a rise out of you, and nobody got anything productive out of it. That's why it's a bad topic. Next one.
He will. I'm telling you, he will find a way in people's mentions if you talk about Zack Snyder long enough, though. So,
dude, you mute him and he disappears. That's what I've been doing. I've muted some people I like not because of them, because they get into these things and it's all over I'm like, oh my goodness, what have you gotten yourself into? And it's like, not everything needs a response. Not everything needs a response, guys.
Daniel says generalizations are bad in general too. Yes, that's very true.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I saw what you did there, Daniel Martin. Ha! Actually,
I just spit on that too. Okay, let's go to some other topics that don't involve me getting pissed off at one prick on Twitter. Let's see. Droga, I'm just drawing Tim Dragon's boyfriend. Okay, cool. Look forward to see your artwork, man. It's always great. Damn it, my mouse is it doesn't want to click.
Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Okay. I went to AEW and they're pretty decent. I went to AEW. I went to Double or Nothing, and I got decent price tickets. I'm going to TNA. I mean, the most expensive ticket there was $150, and that's ringside, but it's going to be at the Palms, so I paid way cheaper. The Palms is a small venue, so a lot of these small venues you can go see. Certain thing. I would not pay $300 for WWE. Period. Shit, it's got to get a lot better for me. You got to take a zero off of there. I wouldn't pay $30 right now for WWE, and they come here often, and I don't go. I'm just not that passionate about their product. Now, New Japan, I will do it. I love New Japan wrestling, TNA wrestling. I love MLW, and then a lot of the local ones I'll go to. But a lot of it is like you can get in and out of a wrestling show for pretty cheap too. You just got to keep an eye on the tickets.
Okay, so we also got some news days, and Danny will. Actually, he's got a little bit more. Or Jacob has a bit more leans. William thoughts that Daniel Boyle and Alan Scarlett developing a sequel 20 days later, titled 28 Years Later, Ambitions Trilogy. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. And actually, how long has it been since 28 days later? Because it hasn't actually been 28 years. It's been like
28 days later. It was 2006, 2007.
No, that was No, I'm looking up. I think it was 2002. So that would make it
2002. That would make it
2000. It would make, but still just 22 years later. So
But yeah, dude, it's fiction, so you can go.
Yeah, it's like you can cheat the timeline a little bit, but it's like
I am worried about this because I think there's so many times you can tap a whale. Not everything can get mileage like the Expendables. The Expendables went 2 movies too far. I'm worried about this because I don't know if there's some of these IPs have mileage and you can go a long time with them. Some of them don't. Some of them are, like I said, when those movies were released, we were in the zombie craze. We're not in the zombie craze anymore. I don't know. But hey, you know what? Good luck, guys.
Well, we're not so much in the zombie craze, but we have kind of individual zombie kind of hits that still. Walking Dead still going on. Of course, we've got Army of the Dead. Why is
The Walking Dead me? Dude, that show is a torture to sit through. I gave up on Walking Dead. It just was going nowhere. It was just boring for me. And like I said, it's been boring for quite a while. And they have spinoffs. I tried the spinoffs. The spinoffs are equally as boring. I just think I'm tired of zombies. I didn't, you know what? It was a shock because I liked Army of the Dead because I had tapped out of zombie movies. but that was different. That was a little bit different than
It's not, it's it was different because also for you, it's local, but
even though they need to shoot that out here in Vegas. Man.
Yeah, I think I remember reading he didn't film. It wasn't filmed in Vegas. It was like in New Mexico and Atlantic City.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it was different because it was localized. They had the and
it was over the top
ring of cargo containers, keeping the zombies in the city. You had, of course, the new intelligent zombies called the Alphas. So yeah, it was, and of course now it's got some
showgirl zombies running around trying to kill with Elvis leading the way. That opening credits of that
oh yeah, that's good.
That movie when we watched this,
I laughed I laughed and I'm going to laugh my ass off of this.
Las Vegas,
when we do the watch party, that one paratrooper who's slowly coming down and he's got the whole
swarm
of zombies.
He's
trying to shoot at them, but it's like it's not like he can.
He does not have enough bullets. He does not have enough bullets for that amount of zombies.
Yeah, that is probably my favorite zombie kill in the whole movie is in the opening credits of the paratrooper.
But otherwise, I'm done. I'm sort of done with zombie movies. Maybe who knows? It's 28 Days Later, maybe.
Well, and also, of course, it's different because
$700 for ringside at MSG. Holy shit! It is MSG, but they charge that for a house show. I'm not paying that for that. Sorry, I don't think I would have to have a lot of money to pay that. I'm cheap. I am cheap and I'm greedy. So I would rather just hoard that money than spend it on that. But, then again, if it's a once in a lifetime thing, that's $300-$700 a ticket. Like that.
I was also about to say, Army, that it's also different as far as zombies go because, it links up to Rebel Moon. It's a sci-fi universe.
Yeah.
So
at the time, I didn't know it, so I enjoyed it separate from that. But now that I know that, it's kind of now I'm just trying to figure out, all the conspiracy theories. Yeah, it's Bradley. It is cold out here, dude. And they're talking about snow. Fuck. Maybe we have some snow flurries. I'm like, what the fuck? Listen, I have spent my life escaping the snow. I'm in the desert. I should be okay, but no. It's 30 degrees. It's 30 flat outside, and it's windy. And global warming, this is not. I've been in Vegas since '93. Been in Vegas for 31 years, going back and forth to in California. I know what the weather was like with this time of year growing up. I know what the weather was like when I got here. And so global warming, not to get political, that's just science. I got people who can't spell cat telling me that global warming is a hoax. I'm like, you know how cold it is outside? I had rain in September. I could have just gone and jumped into a fucking pool to be surrounded by as much water. And we never had that that rain destroyed my store. Granted, I
remember you talking about that where it caused the ceiling leak.
Caused the ceiling destruction, caused the electrical destruction, caused the compressor fan and my AC to ground and short out all of the electrical that's on the top there. That's why we had to do Rebel Moon and the nunnery, because I couldn't do it. There were still fountains coming down from my thing. And we didn't have that in September when I've been here. So the climate change is a real thing. You just got to look at the weather from last year. Look at some of your photos from a couple of years ago when we know how to give you those memories from 4 or 5 years ago. See if your ass is standing in some snow. What's going on?
Well, that's the thing about it causes the weather to intensify from both ends. It gets hotter during the summer, but also but then the winter also gets crazier, and then of course the hurricane season for people living coastally. It's yeah.
Yeah, we had a hurricane on the Pacific coast. Yeah. Right before, a week before that deluge destroyed the center, we were at a hurricane warning. I live in Vegas. There should be no fucking such thing as a hurricane warning. If that doesn't tell you shit's messed up, I don't know what you're watching. A hurricane warning. I didn't even think you could get those over here. And sure enough.
Snow, there is no escape. Yeah, it does sound very A24.
Slipping and sliding, black ice. I'll bust my ass. I can barely walk now on just normal ground. Clodhoppers are going to be slipping because there's black ice everywhere because it's the desert. No. All right, next one.
Daniel says it barely get any winter weather anymore in the Midwest.
That's part of it though. See, that's not okay.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. Got to go further.
For the Cowboys and Packers. I ask Tekka, who are you rooting for? Because I may be putting a curse on the Cowboys. I haven't decided yet.
There was just a cyclone hit Queensland here a couple of months ago. Yeah, see, and see what's going to happen is it's going to. You guys ever see the movie The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's what I was just about bringing up. Not as comedic like that, where the cold is chasing you. But you remember, people were like, "Oh, global warming. What are you talking about? It's freezing." Yeah, because the pressure displaces the weather. So places that should not be as cold as they are in places that are heat. And what that does is that you when you do that, in a lot of these places that are agricultural points and stuff like that, it offsets that. It ruins that. So people have to leave and they don't have jobs, because if you're in the the southern hemisphere and you grow shit and the weather's messed up, then you mess up everything. People have to leave. It's just
yeah. I mean,
very real. That's science fiction, by the way, guys. That's actually topical because it's science fiction that's actually real.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The science in the movie is bullshit, as you said.
Yeah, you won't be running. You won't be running.
You're not gonna have like, because the whole when the eye of the storm hovers over New York, and it's like the cold, like the temperature differential. Let's say it's kind of anthropomorphized, so it's like it slowly descends,
like it's chasing you. I'm like, and they're running in to close the door like it's literally Michael Myers chasing him. That movie was fun, but once again, it's one of those movies that you sit down and right off, it's bullshit.
Light on the science, heavy on the fiction.
Yeah, but heavy on the fun though. It's a fun movie. Yeah. I watched that while I was deployed, and we were just watching every movie under the sun. Yeah,
I actually liked it for Emmerich's disaster movies. I mean, obviously his best is Independence Day, but probably after that, my favorite was 2012, because that was, of course, playing on the whole thing with like the Mayans saw it coming, and their calendar ends at this date, so this is the end of the world.
And I try to tell people,
and you said it's like, yeah, there's a reason why their calendar ends.
Yeah, you ever heard of? I think it was Cortez. They were being wiped out. That's like if a meteorite hits Las Vegas. Let's knock on wood and let that happen. And my last text is on 1/10/2024. It's not because something's happening 100 years from now. I got wiped out. I didn't do anymore. Some poor Mayans were getting killed. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we're getting wiped out. Should we fight or should we finish our calendar? I think we're gonna fight. And then obviously what happened to them. Yeah. Like, but yeah, people are like, and then Y2K, all this stuff. People are like, man, it's like, I remember Y2K, everybody buying water and shit. I'm like, what the hell?
I was only like 12, because I wasn't really paying attention to Y. It was like kind of on the periphery for me at that.
It was so hilarious. In 2000 hit, nothing happened.
Yeah,
and then Microsoft was telling you guys are idiots. What are you doing? You're like, you guys are idiots. We're computer people. You think you're gonna come up with some roadblock smarter than we are? You guys can't even find the alt key on your computer. We're fine. We were fine. It was so funny. All right, let's move through the chat, because I've aggravated myself with all the things that happened today.
Yeah. By the way, also, guys, if you've never seen the alternate ending for 2012, it's actually it's what I call in Wayne's World what they call the crazy happy ending, because what happens there is like all the survivors are on the two arcs, and then they find Chiwetel Ejiofor's like that yacht they were on that got taken out by the tidal wave that would have swallowed them whole, but it's like, no, they made it, they survived, they just floated onto a rock. So I can tell why
that movie flirted with the cartoonish with me. It's like, okay, what the hell is going on here? First of all, you guys are all dead. That wave, if in the Philippines or it was in the Manila, somewhere in Asia, in 2004, there was an earthquake that had a tsunami.
Yeah,
killed like 200,000 people.
And that's with normal like tsunami tidal waves. That's not like these are like a mile and a half high.
It wiped out a lot of people, and it was sad. It wiped out more people than an atomic bomb did. So when I'm watching 2012, I'm like, first of all, you're all dead, but let's watch this anyway. It's like the Ewoks. Ewoks are dead. I'm gonna make the Ewoks do, the movie of what would have happened to the Ewoks. There's all kinds of Ewok zombies and shit going around, and you find a cave with all the dead women that they eat. And there's like a closet with a bunch of dresses of all the different size. So if there's a different size woman that comes down there, already got her covered. Hey, come visit us. Let's go camp out with us. We got a dress for you already. Don't mind those bones there.
Look at the part where the White House gets taken out in 2012, and we're the size of that tidal wave, where it's like first you like see that aircraft carrier just hovering, and then you see the wave behind it, and that tidal wave is like a mile and a half high. It's like there's not going to be any survivors anywhere.
That's end of the world. That's end of the world shit right there. And just like, oh, by the way, in Independence Day. Okay, I love Independence Day. What I'm about to say is
is it about nuking the mothership?
No, that's just dumb anyway. Like that, like I said, Ewok territory there. If there was anything like that remotely headed towards, hovering over, in the vicinity of, within 1,000 miles of the White House,
a quarter the size of our moon,
is gone. The president is gone. We aren't waiting till we have Jeff Goldblum figure out that it's a countdown.
I don't want to let it lead to a mass hysteria that's going to cost lives.
The Secret Service is going to say, "Yeah, you're coming with us.
They will chloroform.
You're coming with us." They are by law. They are by law obligated to protect him against himself at sometimes. He can give executive orders, but they cannot conflict with the law and the charter that is the Secret Service's special detail to protect him. They will drag him out of there. They will do whatever they need to do to get him and his family out of there. They are not going to let him say, there's not going to be, Mr. President, it's getting real close. No, Mr. President, it's on our radar. You're coming with us. No, I want to stay. Mr. President, you come. Ask twice. And then the second time, you're going to see a bunch of Secret Service agents come up. Don't make a scene. Right? They are not letting the president stay in that area.
And then, of course, that's just that, and him just trying to calm the nation in the time of crisis. But then, of course, then they totally throw.
They're running everywhere. That's hilarious. That's what really happened.
And then, of course, they totally throw any kind of executive branch protocol out the window, and he says, "Okay, we're short on pilots. I got experience. I'm jumping in with these guys."
Once again, the Secret Service is not letting that happen. Like I said, the president is not going to be the star in the movie. It's Hollywood. I had fun with it. He's going to a bunker somewhere. He's going to a bunker miles between, a nuclear protected bunker somewhere in Maryland or Virginia somewhere. He ain't going to be out in the open.
He's probably going to be in Area 51, and then that's when the whole caravan of survivors are going to get there and see, oh yeah, the president's there.
They would never take him to a target place anyway.
Because, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they would use the same thing that if we were under nuclear attack, the president and the Congress and the Senate, there are designated places that they go, and they got food there for months. They can actually stay up to years in there. They're all over the area in the chain of command. The designated survivor, the president and the vice president are split up. They're sent to two different places. The Speaker of the House is possibly, depending on if he can get away, it's split up because the chain of command goes from the president, the vice president, and then the Speaker of the House. And then it goes to Secretary of Defense and all that. So all those guys are generally in different places so that now no group of them can get wiped out and you don't have anybody running the country. Well, they ain't all going to be on the same Air Force One. And why? Because they're not going to wait till the damn thing is hovering. Can you imagine that hovering over there? And maybe they're friendly. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe you need to find out from the bunker, Mr. President. But I just missed that because it was fun. And like I said, once they blow up that mothership, we're all celebrating for a little bit. Yeah. And then we look up and we do our Ewok dance, which is die. That's what we do. All right, next question. Or next whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we love going on that Independence Day.
I love that movie, dude. I love it. Come on.
But again, it's Emmerich. It's Roland Emmerich, guys. Light on the science and on the politics.
But that's what you go to fun. You say, no, that's bullshit. But you're laughing and clapping. You're like, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing about Independence Day. I would erase Independence Day too, but I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Yeah. Hal Jordan says Y2K was hilarious. Yes, it was.
Fucking stupendous. It was stupid. It was people.
Well, again, like I said, I was only 12 when all that was that year. So
I was 26.
It was very it was the kind of thing where it's it was big enough where it's even at that age it's you knew vaguely about it, but it's I didn't know the details.
I'm a computer geek. That was back when you built your own towers. I was that geek. I built computers from ground up. I was that guy. I was I know you guys are. What are you doing? And like I said, it's not like the computer companies are trying to scam you. They told you. So we already know what's coming. You'll be fine. And of course, we were fine.
Yeah. Droga says Independence Day was a masterpiece. There is zero chance he's not trolling.
Next, I'm not even giving him the
that ought to be a banned topic.
That was a fourth
Uh,
troll.
Well, fourth actually. I don't know if this is a troll or not. Mothership burned up due to ablation in the atmosphere.
Not that size. No, that was it's the speed and the mass of and where that was at. Like I said, the fact that it exploded, fell out of orbit, out of the moon's, or there's orbit, and in that thing was huge, dude.
Yeah, if that debris, if that's not hitting us, it's hitting the moon.
Yeah, and all that radiation, the big chunks are it's gonna be like little nuclear bombs hitting because the radiation chunks are gonna hit and they're gonna put all that shit in the air. We're dying.
Yeah,
we're dying.
But it is worth it because of the again that like it's the perfect just monument to patriotism for Independence Day every year.
Yeah, we're dead, and like I said, the Ewoks, they're on a moon. So the Death Star was if you can look up in the sky and see it, its destruction is going to mean your destruction. Okay, that means it's real fucking close.
Yeah. Dork Knight says, anyone else watch disaster movies and wonder if they survive disaster in the movies universe? When I see movies set in land, I wonder if I make it or die in that universe.
I when I see what's going on screen, I'm like, I'm dead. The only people that live are the people that they paid a lot of money to act in the movie. Everybody's going to die. Listen, the chances of the survival and all this stuff and we're gonna get in our bunker, we're gonna survive while everybody else is eating each other up there. All right, so you're probably gonna last longer, but you're eventually gonna die. When everything is gone, the world stops working, and you and your can of Spam and your shotgun, you're gonna either go crazy for one because it's just gonna be the solitude, but depending on what kind of nuclear weapon it is, it's going to be, you're not coming out of that hole for quite a while. The fallout alone, I mean, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to be, I know it's cool, dystopia. Oh, it's World War III. We all survived with the kind of shit that we have. And you're going to be living in some ghoulish shit. You're going to have people's skin peeling off and because of radiation sickness. You don't want to live in that.
We're way more than a quarter of the Death Star land on some random ocean planet we never heard of. Most of it was in perfect condition.
Yeah. That's a problem. That's when it's fantasy. That's when it's science fiction fantasy. That's the difference.
It made for some pretty epic imagery in Rise of Skywalker, but yeah, it's like it's the year, and that's not how space works.
And then their aircraft, their the carriers are the what is this? Uh-oh. Why is somebody texting me on Twitter and I'm like on the no, that's you. Hold on, I just gotta make sure that
God, yeah, I'm just playing back also that clip again of 2012 when the wave hits the White House. And yeah, that wave is like again, it's like it just this wave would swallow DC up whole, just
I mean in Virginia, Maryland, DC, I mean all kinds of places that would.
It's like it is a mile and a half high. It's like
yeah. When you see when you look on YouTube and they have those size comparisons of meteors, you better hope none of these they're tracking these things. I'm like, holy shit! If one of those the size of Texas, one of them's the size of Texas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
no, that we're okay because all we have to do is send Bruce Willis up in a rocket ship with a nuclear bomb to take care of that. So
yeah, you would need more than the nuclear bomb. You would need to move the damn planet for that one to survive. But
Armageddon, that's another one of my favorite. You're talking about
that one. Is that in Iraq too?
No, that was Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, yeah.
That has my favorite. My favorite one in that is when the one of the smaller ones when it hits Paris and you see it just comes in so fast and just takes out the whole city. I mean, it's like
that's what it's gonna do. It's actually gonna be worse. It's actually gonna be worse because you're not giving the massive destruction of something hitting that fast. It's gonna suck.
Well, and then I love because it does take out the whole city, but then they cut back later and you see little remnants of the Arc de Triomphe is still there, and you can see really close. You see a couple of cars still moving there, like this one ambulance still going. It's like no way in hell.
Unless they came from way outside the city, but the Arc de Triomphe is gone. Everything's gone. The impact blast alone, the shockwaves of the impact blast alone, is going to rip your skeleton out of your body and send it someplace where it will never be seen again. So yeah. All right, next one.
Erin says she was 11. They're quite to go. Yeah, I was 12. So we were both pretty for we were both like not of the age where it's like we would know like exactly what Y2K.
That's Brad and Aaron calling us old again. Next one.
And actually, she has another one. It's like, what would be worse, American Civil War or World War III? World War III.
World War III. Because you're talking nuclear weapons. You're most likely talking nuclear weapons. And there's no coming back from that. The Civil War.
Yeah, it's internal. It's actions within like
7 days that it lasts before it gets crushed is just going to be a cool news story. World War III is over. Once one of us launches a nuclear weapon, it's mutually assured destruction. And now World War III, like without nuclear weapons, but see, nobody's going to do that because no front nation, no nation is going to get in, is going to get in a full frontal assault with Uncle Sam. It's not going to happen. China doesn't want it. Russia definitely doesn't want it. And who's that? Those are your the ones who would attack us know better. They ain't going to do it. They know it's going to happen, especially if they're not using nuclear weapons. And the ones who are are not them are our allies. So you have us, you have France, you have all the United, and they're all nuclear powered. So it would if you're gonna, the only way you would happen is somebody launched a nuclear weapon. I just don't. No one's going to do that. 70 foot. Knock on wood. It's been 80 years. 1940. Actually, no. It's 78. Was it 78 years?
It's 45 in 1945. So that's we're coming up on about 80 years. Yeah, 78 years.
So it's been that long since the last one was dropped, and there's a reason. Nobody wants that shit. That wasn't even a big one. We've designed big ones that are like
the ones we've got now would make that look like a little firecracker.
Yeah, the stuff that they can drop from a plane. They show one that they can drop from an F-35. That was 3 times, a bunch of more times than Hiroshima. I'm like, Hiroshima killed 100,000 people. So yeah, we don't want to do that. All right, next one.
Like William said, American Civil War. Yeah, it's about 7 days before people say it's like, yeah, okay, it's time to get back to business.
People couldn't stay quarantined and have that disrupt their life. You think they're going to let this disrupt their life? No.
And Bradley says, "I'd love to see a post-apocalyptic." Yeah, that could be actually me, like the next like kind of spin to put on Godzilla.
Well, that's probably going to be the sequel to -1 because he pretty much popped the apocalypse from that show.
Yeah. He
detonated a nuclear explosion in a place that already had 2 nuclear explosions. So yeah, I don't want to see Tokyo.
If you haven't seen Godzilla -1, I mean, it's no exaggeration to say that Godzilla goes Oppenheimer on Tokyo.
Yeah, the next one is going to be Godzilla Break Even because he fucked that city up.
Yeah,
he fucked that city up.
They need let's see. Fort says they need to make a modern remake of The Day After, best nuclear Holocaust movie. And Ruth
you showed that shit on TV. You know what was scary about The Day After? They showed it on TV. And by today's standards, he's right. By today's standards, The Day After is cheesy. Like, oh my God, I can't believe we were scared of that. 9-year-old me, that scared the fuck out of all of us. That scared my dad. That scared my mom. We were living on an Air Force base, which is a natural target for any strategic nuclear weapon. So we're like, holy shit, we have no chance. And we're deep in the Cold War. 1982, 1983, when that came out, we are knee deep in the Cold War. So it was real. It was a real possibility. And not only would we be attacked, but that somebody could do it by accident. There's so many close calls now that it's all been declassified where blips and shit on a screen were mistaken for a nuclear launch, and they had to find people to be like, is this true? And they were just about to turn the keys. There's a Russian story where a Russian colonel literally saved the world because he realized that it was the sun reflecting on the something was wrong, but it looked like a launch, and he figured it out that it wasn't a launch, and he saved everybody. And there's probably been a couple of different things that have happened. But back in the 80s when we were kids, we did the drills. We did earthquake.
Yeah,
and we did the. Oh, by the way,
you did the when a nuke drops, get under your desk, as if that's going to do any good drills.
Yeah, and if you're next to a wall, lean up against the wall. Okay, you know what's going to happen then? Your shadow is going to be permanently burnt into that wall. We went through so many mental exercises to make us feel better. Everything that we did when it came to nuclear wars in the 80s in the early 80s when we were kids living in those type of areas was to make you feel better. Like,
Just
you
peace
know
of
what?
mind.
They didn't want you living in fear that you were going to get burnt to a toast and that it would happen quickly. So they're like, if I die, we had the turtle can't get into your shell and job. Oh, by the way, there was ones from the 50s that were hilarious where, there's a flash of light. What do? We kneel down and face the job. No. If you see the flash of light, you have died. All right. That is you. That flash of light is you dying. And if from some miracle, if you could see the flash of light, you're blind. That's the last thing you'll ever see anyway, even if you live. But the radiation poison is going to just melt the bone. Like I said, that was always, I'm like, the flash, here comes the flash. Oof. Oh, Jane, Bobby, what do we do? We got to get down in the corner of the wall. I'm like, what? Show me what really happens. Which is the shadows of those people. And I'm shit not being burnt into the ground. I mean, it's not even like Sarah Connor on Terminator 2 where she's like hanging on.
Her skeleton disintegrates.
That's it. The amount of time it takes for you to burn a stamp with your lighter 10 times fast. And that shockwave is, like I said, you're not going to know what hit you. By the time you hear the sound, by the time you know what hit you, you're dead. So there's no, there's a flash. Not when you're that close. If you might see it from miles away, but even then, depending on how many megatons it is, you're just waiting to die.
Well, actually,
pretty much waiting to die.
Here's another good one.
And then that Black Rain.
As far as like nuclear fiction is True Lies. When the bomb goes up, because the terrorist group they say, okay, we're gonna like set off one of these bombs on the uninhabited island, that's like close to the Florida Keys, we're going to show you we mean business. And Arnold is kissing Jamie Lee Curtis. He's putting up one hand to block out the bright light, but it's like that's also bogus.
No. And then even the Dark Knight Rises. Now, if that was a strategic nuclear bomb, you could probably get away with that. But the way they made that bomb sound, that bomb sound like a world ender. He's gonna have to go a little bit further than the ocean. And he ain't coming back. So there you go. All right, next one.
We've actually had a lot about nukes right here.
Wow.
Ruth says they're making Twister 2.
Yeah, I will be passing on that.
That's actually another one where it's like again, it's a disaster movie, light on the science, heavy on the fiction.
90s and her discovering her. Why do you chase tornadoes? Because all I did was grow up in tornadoes and it hit this house and this house. And I'm like,
after you.
It's a mindless. It's a mindless whirlwind. It's not a shark. It's not Jaws.
If you have anybody hasn't seen Twister, it's what is these storm chasers? They're trying to develop like a more advanced like a early warning system for tornadoes, and so they want to put up this gizmo in a tornado that's going to like release all these little sensors. That's going to give them like better data to work with. But
bullshit. The only thing that the damn tornadoes didn't do is start talking. The only thing the damn tornadoes did. The damn tornadoes are doing shit like everything to start taking a shit and talking. Say, I'm back for you. You think you escaped me when you were a child? That's the only thing that could have made that movie even dumber than it was. I don't need a sequel to that. And you don't have Bill Paxton? Don't do it.
Yeah, that is true. It's like he's very missed.
Way too young.
Yeah, actually, we're on kind of a roll here now. We talked about like no band topics, so it's like
now we're talking about world destruction, nuclear holocaust. Yeah, that's better. Hey, let's keep it going.
Well, I think I mentioned before. It's like I'm actually a pretty big fan of the post-apocalyptic genre, so that's that is something I was gravitated to.
Just kill me.
Drifting into a band topic or related to. It's why I love The Nightmare so much, because it's like it's a JL movie in a post-apocalyptic scenario. It's like where else have you seen that comics wise, animation? Where animation is like they did do with Apocalypse War, and that's one reason I like Apocalypse War so much, because again it's a post-apocalyptic Justice League stories, but we've never seen that cinematically. So yeah, there you go. It's the reason to restore or resolve or complete or sell or yeah, get off of that now. Aaron is going to and Ruth and Aaron double team in here.
All right, guys. When it comes to the Sharknado movies, I would rather have my tongue ripped out by a chihuahua violently. I hate those movies. Not only do I hate those movies, I hate what they meant for Sci-Fi Channel. That was the death of the Sci-Fi Channel for me. When I see Mark Cuban getting eaten by a shark, that was it. It's over. Doctor Who, the network that gave me Sci-Fridays, that made it cool to watch TV on Fridays, with Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Doctor Who, Farscape, Lex. That channel is giving me flying dead fucking sharks. So not only were the movies stupid, and they were stupid, do not get in here. They weren't even fun stupid. They were just stupid. But that was the signifying of the death of sci-fi. Just go ahead and put the Y in there instead of the I. It's sci-fi. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they destroyed that channel. In fact, what's on Sci-Fi Channel now? Let's go see. It's the death of sci-fi. I used to have it on my favorite channels. Let's see what's on Sci-Fi Channel. Here we go. The Invisible Man. Ooh, okay. Which version of it?
Was that the new one? Because that was pretty good, I thought.
Hold on, because it might be the Chevy. No, it's let's see. Hold on, because they probably have the Chevy Chase version though. No, this is the good one. This is the pre-pandemic one. Okay, what else?
That was very narrowly pre-pandemic, but yeah.
The Twilight Zone, which is what they before they went cool. That's all they were, was the Twilight Zone.
Oh, but Ruth apologizes, by the way, for bringing up Sharknado.
Nah, I mean, like I said, when you bring up Sharknado, Face Off, Monkey Business. Oh fuck, dude. Yeah. Let's see what's on. Face Off, let the games begin. They basically become the Face Off.
Speaking of Invisible Man, because the new one was actually I enjoyed that. That was pretty good.
That was a cheap ass movie to make.
Yeah,
we made invisible tickets, by the way.
And I remember we shared this one time, and that came out like just in time ahead of the pandemic for them to actually make like a good like profit theatrically.
Yeah, $7 million they spent on that movie.
But speaking of Invisible Man, this is one that I probably one of my first R-rated movies, and but now it's like I look at it in a whole new light because it is Hollow Man from like 2000.
Oh yeah, Hollow Man.
Yeah, with Kevin Bacon.
That was a deep, dark movie, by the way.
Yeah, that is like there's stuff you see that as a teenager. It's you think of it as like a slasher movie with an invisible guy, but it's like
seeing as a 25-year-old.
Oh yeah, that is raping. That is fucked up. That movie is
raping that girl. He's going crazier and crazier but it's what happened. It was because the chemical that affected Griffin, who's the original man, was affecting it. It was making him go crazy. He was an asshole to begin with. Griffin was an asshole to begin with, but when he started taking the potion and made him invisible, it made him crazy. So yeah, that's exactly what happened in Hollow Man.
Yeah, but Hollow Man like dials it up too. Like you couldn't have done that. The original Invisible Man, but he dials it up too. I mean, the dude is like
well, he's grabbing a girl's boobs, like
Yeah, it's like he's. I mean, it's like this is like. I mean, what he does, and it's like he's like a sexual predator, just completely.
Yeah, he wasn't really, like I said, the guy was a jerk, but he wasn't like that. What the chemical did that turned him invisible, it just released the normal human urges that we all have. Hey, by the way, before I forget, look at my Funko Pop ball.
Yeah, you shared that earlier.
Yeah, look at it, it's so pretty. Let's go back again. Let's watch it again. Look at that. Look at it go. I just got to buy.
You said just like completely restocked that today?
Yeah, baby. I starved it. It was so pathetic. You guys, if you look at the tour that I did a couple of weeks ago, you see how dilapidated. I was almost embarrassed to show it. But that was our close sign because we're closed on Mondays. By the way, Ruth, if you're in the chat, you wanted me to pull out some of my favorite ones, but I'm not there right now. But here's the Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time Eddie one that I got that I love. And there's the Megadeth Big Rat Battlehead that I got there. So those are my favorite. But yeah, we loaded up the Funko Pop. What else did I do? There's the area where I'm sitting. There's some scary shit.
I got people going now on Hollow Man. The guy and Fun points out it's like he kills a dog in it. And Aaron's like, yeah, you're right. It's insane. It is insane and it is disturbing.
This variant right there that's on that screen, that's sold 5 minutes after I opened the box and put it on the table.
I like that. I love that with a Goofy as Iceman slipping.
Here's my Star Trek section. Let's see. I'm just going through here because I post a lot. Black Panther. We did. We promoted Night Swim, which I still have to go see.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Lloyd! It was his birthday. I love this cover. I bought this again. I got like 3 or 4 of these. I love Alex Ross's timeless covers. There's my neighbor Jim. We do our Saturday pictures. I think that's gone too. I bought this as a kid in the store at the BX. That's Sister Kim's. Baby Yoda.
Grogu, yeah.
Pris from Blade Runner. I love my creepy magazines. This is one of the variant walls. There's that's a Kirk Barbie. I have the Uhura Kirk and a Spock one as well. That was New Year's Eve. That was when I was with you guys. There's D'Artagnan. That's a gift card. There's Kirk again. There's a Spider-Man variant cover. That's not even Spider-Man comic. Spock plushie with the Spock Sister Kim's. Oh, I'm so hungry right now. I could lick the screen. Oh my goodness. There we go. And there's that. That's a piggy bank. That's a Baby Yoda section I showed you guys before. Oh, that's Oxtail Friday. Oh my god. Oh, it's Oxtail Saturday. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, on this, Ruth is asking what is your all-time favorite Funko?
Probably the Batman Who Laughs. Oh, that's us doing Rebel Moon.
Yeah. Oh, was that during the watch party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a variant wall.
I can't wait to see the director's where he gets again those teeth when he gets whacked in the face, just gonna fly.
Oh, when the heads that's my Geiger section.
Ruth is asking me, do I collect anything? Yeah, I was pretty big at action figures when that was actually kind of my gateway drug really into a lot of into really everything I'm into now because I was collecting all the Batman, all the Superman, all the and not just that, but also like when Jurassic Park, when a new one would come out, be all on top of that. So I still got a lot of. I've been thinking about like getting back into it, a lot of it because of McFarlane toys and how just thorough he is on that.
This is a mug. This is the mug.
I bet. Is it Bruce mug?
No, there's you and me.
Yeah. What else do I collect, Ruth? I got a lot of Blu-rays and collect comics too, obviously. Yeah, those are kind of my big ones as far as like my my collecting habits. So,
Mr. Kim's 1-year anniversary party, and since I was their very first customer, of course, I was a guest of honor.
Oh, Daniel Martin, going. Damn right I do, Daniel.
Okay, that was fun. Yeah, I wanted to show her that Funko. Okay, next one.
Fourth, William, thoughts on Mando and the Baby Yoda? Yeah, because we got some news on that the other either today or the
I like that. I think that should be the model going forward for a lot of things. If you can do it, build up the fan base with the show, and then graduate the content to a film, and then back end it with bringing in some more content so that by the time that you get to a certain stage, you're ready for a movie and you're ready you've built your following. I think DC should do that. To be honest with you, I think DC should be doing a lot of stuff on at post Zaslav, because like I said, we're still dealing with dinosaur logic.
Well, like I said, we've listed about 800 things DC should be doing in the last 4 years, but
But when it comes to building a franchise like that, I think that you should really start it through streaming and then graduate it. That way, you by the time you get, like, if Game of Thrones did movies right now, Game of Thrones would be set because everyone would go see those movies. So.
Oh, but we're on the topic again of disaster movies. This sort of counts. And I know it's not a favorite of yours, William, but Titanic.
I was all right. I mean, I knew what I was getting into. Listen, all right. You try to add disaster to human interest. Of course, they got to be fucking on the boat. Like, I was afraid when they did the Twin Towers, they were going to have a Twin Towers story where there was people making out while the towers are coming. Come on. Everybody has to add a romance. Listen, romance is not everywhere. All right. Sometimes things just blow up. Sometimes things ship. Do you think that? Come on.
Well, here's the thing. The thing that always scared me, or like the thought that's always kind of been in my head the most when it comes to the Titanic sinking, is the idea that, because I mean, it's portrayed very well in the movie of just how
the destruction of it is awesome. I can watch that forever.
Yeah, but the thought that was always in my head when the ship is fully submerged is I always had this idea. It's like, did everybody
back up? Yeah.
Yeah, but also, did everybody make it topside? Like, were there
No.
still people? No, yeah,
No.
and
No.
see, and then when the second half, because they would have like been chased up by the water. So when the
Well,
back
no.
half,
What would have happened is once that part submerged, that current would have drugged them down.
yeah,
And
but
most of those people, like he said, was right. Most of those people weren't fit enough and would have drowned. And he knew what to do, which is complete bullshit. I'm sorry. What is he, MacGyver on Titanic? Somehow, but he was scientifically correct. Once you reach a certain point, you have to start shooting back up. Those people would not have known to do that. They would have panicked and they would have died. So most of those people would have been drugged down by that happened.
But not just that, but also like I'm thinking like people inside the ship as it's going down, because also one thing.
No, they're dead. They're in a tomb. Just like the USS they're in a tomb.
But it's also what happened with it is it had, because a lot of the survivors, they reported hearing like explosions like once they get right to a certain depth, and what a lot of the forensic analysis has revealed is that it had air pockets in it once it because it sunk too quickly. So what happened was once it reached a certain depth, the ship imploded. So just imagine being inside of that.
It's called the crush depth. It's called it's called the crush depth. And what ended up happening, unlike that submersible, the Titanic was big enough to take that pressure, but not keep its complete integrity. So there was holes being punched through that thing, and those people were just it just sucked, man. That would be horrible.
Yeah, it's like if you're inside of that ship when it's submerged and once it implodes, it's like that is, I mean, lights out instantly. So
all right, let's move that because I'm starting to fade.
Yeah, that's always a thought.
And I have some gumbo in front of me too. So.
Yeah, and Roost's Titanic when it went down my heart. So yeah, it's like I said, like that's a thought. And Bradley says that.
Wait a minute, whoa, Ruth. When the Titanic went down, that was 1912. How old are you? You weren't there.
She's talking about like within the context of the movie, but
I'm about to say, man, we got an immortal. Ruth is an immortal, like a Highlander.
But yeah, it's like what Bradley says. Yeah, that thought has always been inside my head. It's like,
why?
Well, there are people inside of that ship when it's fully submerged, and like how deep does it make it before it?
You got about 1,000 feet before it becomes to the point where you're just dead. And the water was freezing. Most of those people died before that because their bodies went into shock. So they didn't even know it hit them, because that kind of water, being plunged in the water like that, most of those people were freezing and their bodies shut down. You got a lot of old people and weak people on there. They were on all Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. And the only movie I can't rewatch of hers. That's the only movie I just can't do over again, because I think she was nominated for Academy Award in that movie. I don't think she was there yet. She became
you said with Eternal Sunshine.
Was one of the greatest actors of her generation. I love her movies. But that's why William stays on dry land.
Well,
ain't happening.
Well, like you said, it's not just the water's freezing, but also the air is cold. So it's
the air is cold, and they're not suited for that. They're you only have, unless you train for that, you only have so long before your organs start to shut down.
Oh, yeah, if you're not a Navy SEAL, it's like you're gone in 10 minutes once you're submerged.
Yeah, and that's a mental discipline that those people in 1912 didn't have.
Yeah, I was dug that guy too. The one guy who says, "Oh, we're prepared to go down as a gentleman, but we'd like a brandy." And then 5 minutes later, it shows him when the wave is coming in. He's got that top hat on. He's like, "Wow, I'm rethinking my life choices."
Yeah, because nobody really thought that what was happening. You got to realize that. They were told they were on an unsinkable ship, and they didn't realize how no one was communicating with anybody, just how catastrophic that really was. The captain lied. Everybody lied to everybody and told everybody everything was okay. They should have been, as soon as that how the fuck did you miss that iceberg? But as soon as you sheared that much of the ship off with that iceberg, you needed to be abandoning ship right then and there.
Yeah, well, and I'm actually like
and there wasn't enough light posts, which is
that's also true.
That's a lawsuit today. So
it's like 20, but
it's like 1100 to be exact.
But I've also like read, I've seen like documentaries on where they said like if the ship had actually hit the iceberg head on, I mean it would have crushed the front of it, but it could have actually stayed afloat.
Well, no, what had happened is he avoided it enough, but the edge still cut the side of the ship. You're right. If he'd have hit, it would have fucked them up. But the bulk, they would have lied. But he tried to avoid it. But I'm like, dude, that iceberg is big. How'd you miss that? How are you steering about something that important? That iceberg was big. I mean, when you see it and they say that's the accurate size, the way James Cameron depicted that how the fuck did you miss that?
Part of it was because they didn't have any, like the water was really calm, so they didn't have the waves crashing against it at the base. So that made it hard to spot from a distance. But still, it's like once they saw it, once it like kind of creeps out into the night, then it's like it's like they had a lot of lax safety protocols.
And eyesight maybe. Let's look at this because I'm sorry, but
Clint says that when the Titanic went down, it was a miracle for the lobsters in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, and the sharks. All right.
Will they ever make another Titanic film? And that's the end. No, I think.
What are they gonna do? A sequel? Is Rose gonna come back?
No, Steve Byrne, he actually has a good joke about that in his stand-up. Every say, Titanic. I'm pitching he's like playing a writer saying, I got my pitch Titanic the sequel. It's like you remember the story of Jack and Rose? Well, this is about a couple of few doors down. Titanic.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Geez, I can see him doing it.
All
right, so
they were cruising in that big bitch at a speed that was way too hyper.
Yeah, let's take a look at these examples, guys. I'm sorry, these things are as big as the ship.
They're massively bigger than the ship.
Every depiction of this iceberg is something you do not hit.
God, look at how much, and see, this is where the phrase "tip of the iceberg" comes from, because it's something like look at how much of the iceberg is underwater.
Look at that. But okay, but no, am I on the screen? So you look at that one, right? But even with the majority of being underwater, look how much is on top. That's enough. That's enough. You can't see that? You were drunk. That's what it was.
Well, again, they thought they were unsinkable. Well, also those two guys at the top, they were watching Jack and Rose make out below them, so they were distracted.
Yeah, because of course that had to be happening on the show. We just met. Let's do it. I got a fiance on the. Let's do it. We're on the boat. What, 3 days?
Oh,
let's do it.
Here's a good one. Titanic's this time it's port.
They'll probably make a movie about the submersible before they ever make a Titanic.
Oh, well, and actually, I just thank you for, because Droga asked, are they going to?
Of course they are. Of course they are. And guess what's going to be happening on the submersible? There's going to be a guy and a gal, and they're doing it. And Celine Dion's going to make a song for it. And then while it's getting crushed, they're going to be like, "I love you too." Crunch.
Yeah,
come on.
That's another thing I could never envision myself doing, is going in a submersible under like 2.5 miles of water. That takes some serious balls.
I've been on a Navy sub, and first of all, I'd lose my mind because they're down there for a long time. But those things are built for it, though. Those things are built for it. But I would not go. Listen, if your name ain't Captain or Master Chief or Gunny or Admiral or anything, I'm not getting on shit in the water with you, okay? No. Gilligan, no. Nobody. No. You're homemade, whatever. I would have walked up and said, "Is this where we're getting in?" Oh, okay. Listen, dude, you guys have fun. I'll take my refund. And I'll see you on the other side. I just, you look at that. I would not get into that. And I'm not getting into anything like that where it's a private anything where I'm not looking up his history, and his history sucked. He had enough front facing history to be like, okay, I'm not getting on a raft with you, let alone something that's going down that deep. And those poor people paid for it. It sucked too, but they died quickly though. That's the only thing they didn't even know it hit them.
Yeah,
they died quicker than their minds could comprehend that they were dying.
Process that. It was lights out. How deep were you when you were in the Navy submarine?
We were just at a couple hundred feet. We just went in. We just went down, and
they can go like a depth of like a mile or two. Right?
Yeah, we were. My uncle was a Master Chief in the Navy. He served on the USS Enterprise, so we could get cool shit like that. Just like I could get on certain planes and stuff that we weren't supposed to get on, but we got on them. Just growing up when you got everybody around you is military, and when we were doing that. But yeah, I've been on aircraft carriers, man. Those things are cramped. You try sinking one of those in modern era, you're something special. and we got 20 aircraft carriers. That's more than any nation by like 15. Next one.
Well, now you got me thinking. Let me go and take this off. Rose's William was the actual Titanic survivor.
Not that old. No, William wouldn't have been on there. Listen, I don't do ships, man. I'm not a big
again, they
the Army.
They sold everybody on the whole unsinkable thing. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to bring this up too because this kind of because the Titanic. I mean, it was notorious for being it was not just sold on unsinkable, but it was sold on how big it was for its time. It was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest ship ever built during its time. But yeah, they're making like a lot of these like cruise ships. These tourist yachts are just like so much bigger. I'm gonna pull up one of these comparison photos.
Oh yeah, the dude. Yeah, my parents like taking cruises. They were actually on a cruise when COVID was getting bad. So yeah.
Ruth says I was on a ferry to Ireland. It only happened once. I was rolling side to side.
It's like it's seasick. I'm not a big. My stomach starts doing weird shit on boats.
Yeah. Let me pull this up. Because I think about the part where the ship cracks in half, and it's like that's how big the Titan. And now imagine one of these things, sinking like that happening.
Some of these ships would destroy the iceberg. They're huge.
Oh yeah, it's probably
some of them are actually built now to cut it into it if they need to.
Yeah, because again, like a lot of the I've seen scientists have commented like if they had hit the ship head on, it's like again they would have just flattened the front of it. It's like they never would have killed people. There were like 200 or so people at the front of it, but it's like the ship would have been able to stay afloat.
Plus, modern ships have pumps and buoyancy things that they can stay along. Like they would get just drugged. They would get tugged into where they needed to be. The Titanic really didn't. The Titanic didn't have any. It's 1912, guys. So.
Yeah, here. Yeah, we got on this whole disaster movie kick, and now and that led us all the way to Titanic. But yeah, they're making these things so much bigger now. But I can't even imagine like something this big, like sinking and like the back of it protruding out of the water, and then the whole thing cracking in two like that. I mean, imagine this happening. Imagine Titanic with that. Look at how much bigger that is in the Titanic.
Yeah, and like I said, you see if you look at the edges and everything, some of those ships can they can literally split that and have.
But the ship is bigger than the iceberg now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These ships, these ships are, and they have all kinds of sonar and all kinds. Remember, you didn't have any of that stuff. You had a guy on a pole screaming iceberg, and it was.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, did you ever see this too? There was it was a little bit off topic, but there was this one, this came out like 2 years ago. They're this like billionaire, like tech guy in Abu Dhabi or something. And him and some engineering buddies, they're trying to, their like dream project is to build like this flying hotel that's like nuclear powered.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you see how big that was?
Yeah, I hope to see that. That'd be kind of cool.
I hope to see that, but I mean, it's like
there's one. Did you see the plane? There's a plane that is so massive that it's literally like a hotel. It's a plane. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. And
yeah, and they had a video of it. I thought it was. I'm like, what is this? Because they did a video and it looked real.
I'm gonna pull this up right now. Pull this right now.
I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys fly that a couple of times before I get on it. But once you guys don't die, I'm in.
Well, the idea too is that it's supposed to be nuclear powered, so it could stay. It would like be able to stay up in the air for like months at a time. So it's like the way you get there is like you take it like a commercial airliner, flies you up, it lands, and it deposits people on there.
Yeah,
but
you probably would have more chance of floating out of into the atmosphere than you would of crashing. That's how that thing is set up. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Where's Nick Fury?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up now because this was like, if they can pull this off, hats to them, because this is like, I can't imagine like actually getting something like this off the ground. Look at this, guys. I'll keep the sound off so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah, there it goes. That is some shit right there. Look at the engines. Yeah.
Look at this flying. You see the Aurora Borealis there? Now, but you
Look at the wheels. Look at the wheels on it. These are little wheels.
Yeah, this is like Sci-Fi Center material for sure. It's like because
this should definitely be
and
I mean, look at that middle section. That middle section is like a stadium
dome. Yeah, it's and then but like you said because I kind of the a lot of criticism I'd seen of it. Yeah, they're gonna have restaurants. They're gonna have shopping malls in there.
Why wouldn't this is something? Why couldn't this happen though?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like, guys, if you could make this happen, go for it. But it's, I remember like seeing when this first dropped, people pointing out, it's like, and this kind of goes to what you were saying. It's like it would fly so high, it would like float out of the atmosphere. But
yeah, like, it would literally.
Like if it crashes and it's nuclear powered, I mean, you're taking out a city with that thing.
No, you wouldn't. Because
look at this. This is what they would have put there.
Yeah, something like that. You would eject the core. You would do like literally, if it was a nuclear core, you would literally eject it before, so that you wouldn't do that. So that way you wouldn't fucking take out a city, and you would probably eject the core over water.
This says, yeah, if they actually,
yeah, would you stand next to that window?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Imagine like getting married.
That glass better be some great shit.
Oh, and yeah, of course,
all the windows on it.
Yeah, this is like, yeah. If they put, look at that elevator.
There's an elevator on there.
Yeah. You get to shit your pants as you're.
If you are not afraid to fight. I'll say, look at that. So it's showing you viewing domes.
Yeah. It will have carry like about like what, like 20,000 people. How much would this thing weigh?
It would 100 tons. I mean, it would be.
Oh, weigh a hell of a lot.
It would probably. Well, I'm just starting. It would probably. You see, I would need to. I haven't looked at this in a while. I want to see how it feels. Okay, so it's a nuclear powered engine.
Yeah.
So it's never coming down.
Yeah, so the idea is that you get the way, again, it's like going on a cruise ship. So you want to fly something like this, they one of those little planes down there that flies you up there, and
it shows you see the reactor. See the reactor?
Yeah.
You would eject that reactor if it were going to crash.
Or where's the reactor land then? If it's a problem.
Well, not now. You probably
you fly over the ocean and dump it.
Yeah, you jump it over the ocean, or but it wouldn't necessarily explode. I mean, it would. There's ways you can actually stop a meltdown and stuff from happening if you know what you're doing.
Well,
if you're not the Russians.
Well, and also if they drop their if they eject then how are they staying up? I mean, what's powering it at that point?
Well, you would only do that if you knew it was the imminent crash. But something like this probably wouldn't catastrophically crash that way, like fall out of the sky, and you probably have an escape hatch or something to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like even like an aircraft doesn't just drop it. I mean, it does kind of glide.
When a nuclear sub implodes or crashes or something like that, it doesn't create a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, but this is I remember seeing this thing.
Those are the people that were scared of flying. I saw that.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, getting this bad boy.
Yeah, that's the medical bay.
Yeah, it's like I remember seeing this first time.
This video. If we come anywhere close to this, it's cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing this the first time and thinking like if they
Clint said it looks like it has a fusion reactor, not a fission reactor, so that's big. There it is on the ground.
What's the other plane? Yeah, the tool plane. They're like little toy planes next to it. I mean, this is like a flying city. I mean, this is like one of the mega blocks. Yeah, it's showing you how people would actually get up there, and I guess you
look at that. But that's how you get up to it once it's up in the air. So you actually have a meeting airplane. So you'd have to be really careful not to crash into it. Oh, look, this is neat. I remember seeing this. I thought this was like, the way they did it was like, look at that. That's a cutaway. Now there they have a pool in there in that dome.
They have a pool. They have a mall. They have a movie theater. They have like a dance floor. They got a gym. Apparently they got like some kind of wildlife exhibit. So it's like, man, oh man, it's like how if they actually got that thing going, it's like that has got to be like one of the biggest technological achievements in human history.
That would be like if you're doing some of the crazy shit that you could possibly do on that plane. You broke a bone or something like that. You need an MRI, or a muscle tear,
Yeah, but I had to share that because we.
Oh no, I don't think so.
No, that
I'd
pack
have to
of
be a
bird.
free bird.
You mean like
That's
that
not
pack
coming
of,
down without a missile or a plane, another plane.
that pack of former birds? I think you mean.
Yeah, I don't think that'll touch it at all. All right, guys, that's gonna be it because we went an hour 43 minutes for
And that was a good way to wrap it up because that is the most. I mean, if you guys could pull this off, I applaud you because it is like I could not. I mean, look at how big that thing is compared to like the 747.
yeah, you see the planes that were on the ground.
Yeah.
All right, real quick because we're in a happy mood, but hey, you never know. As happy as we are right now, you never know what's people are going through. We got some fundraisers coming up in 2 weeks, so be there for that. But in the meantime, be there for each other. Keep an eye out for each other. You know, just watch out. Just let's not be the people that like, well, I noticed something, but I should have said something. Don't be that person. Say something that can mean a whole difference between them being there the next day and not. And if you don't think you can handle it, which none of us are really qualified are, give them pound 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 24/7. Call, text, chat. Brad, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Vero. You can find me here and there on Facebook. You can check out my writing on Kung Fu Kingdom and on Screen Rant. Of course, you can find me here sharing videos of all these amazing flying cities with wings.
And I don't even care if we're gonna probably get kicked off even without sound, but that was cool. I do remember seeing that. So if the stream disappears, hey, I hope you all enjoyed it anyway.
And of course, you can blame Brad.
Yeah, like I said, this will be number 3 for him. All right, guys, you have a nice Thursday, and I will see you on the other side.
Later, guys.
Now my outro is not even working.
Is that because of the internet?
It messed up. It made no, it's because of StreamYard sucks. Yeah, I said it, StreamYard. I hope you're in the chat. Hold on. I want my background back.
Well,
Yeah,
Daniel's got one last band topic he wanted to chime in on. So there you go.
Hey, hope it happens for us, you know.
Oh, damn.
All right, guys. Till then, we'll see you later.
Later, guys.